once I knock out Mike Perry, Conor McGregor, let's run it. But you won't do it because you know what's going to happen. You saw what I did to Nate Diaz, who you went toe-to-toe with. So Conor McGregor, lay off the cocaine, get in the gym, and start winning fights, and then maybe we could have a conversation.
Jake Paul's at it again, another desperate stunt to keep himself in the headlines. This time, he's calling out Conor McGregor for a fight in May 2025. Let's be honest, Jake's game plan is as transparent as his boxing skills. Target fading legends, inflate your so-called legacy, and duck any real competition. After dragging a 57-year-old Mike Tyson into the ring, a man old enough to be his dad, Jake's now eyeing McGregor, who hasn't had a meaningful win since 2021 and whose legacy is wobblier than his left leg after Poirier. Classic Jake, never challenge someone in their prime when you can cherry-pick names past their peak. It's not courage, it's calculated cowardice. If he truly wanted to prove himself, he'd fight someone his own age, with equal skill and stamina. But that doesn't fit his narrative. Jake's brand depends on spectacle, not substance. And now, this circus is heading to India. Because of course it is. Add an exotic backdrop to the chaos. Why not? Jake announced it like he was curing world hunger, complete with his trademark delusion and inflated ego. Another day, another cringeworthy cry for attention from the internet's least favorite boxer.
Jake Paul, training with professional boxers, essentially being a professional boxer, but getting in the ring with non-boxers or geriatric dudes. He's not.
And then there's ESPN's very own chaos conductor, Sal Bender, the journalist who decided to spice things up with a tweet that set social media on fire. He claimed Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor is on the table for July, August, or September 2025. Oh, and it's happening in India, because nothing says serious boxing like tossing in an exotic location and a vague date far enough away for everyone to forget how pointless it is. Salvender's tweet lit up Twitter like Times Square on New Year's Eve. Fans, critics, and trolls dove in headfirst. Likes, retweets, memes. Twitter did what it does best, lose its mind. And the brilliance of the tweet? It confirmed absolutely nothing, yet somehow kept everyone talking. Whether Salvender is an agent of chaos or just a master of digital manipulation is up for debate, but one thing's clear, he helped keep Jake Paul's name trending, which, let's face it, is the real goal here. Because this isn't about boxing, it's about attention. And Jake Paul, he's got a PhD in chasing clout. Let's not forget Jake's latest triumph either, his so-called victory over Mike Tyson. Yes, Jake stepped into the ring with a 58-year-old retired legend and celebrated like he just cleaned out the heavyweight division. The fight ended with a unanimous decision in Jake's favor, a result as predictable as sunrise. But did that stop him from hyping himself as the next Sugar Ray Leonard? Of course not. Jake thrives on delusion. His Tyson strategy was simple. Avoid getting knocked out by a man old enough to collect Social Security, then flex for the cameras like he just rewrote boxing history. Naturally, his team documented every second of the build-up. Push-ups, sparring, dramatic stares into mirrors. Because Jake Paul without a training montage is like YouTube without clickbait. It just doesn't work. And the actual fight? A snooze fest.
He just get in the ring with you.
He's on Twitter, he's on his yacht, he's on cocaine, but he's not in the ring with.
Tyson's punches had more nostalgia than power, and Jake's performance was so forgettable, critics weren't just unimpressed, they were offended. If there's one thing Jake Paul does better than boxing, it's turning mediocrity into a marketing masterclass. Now, back to the McGregor madness. Jake's pitch for this fight reeks of desperation. He knows Conor isn't the same guy who took over the UFC. This isn't about challenging greatness, it's about carefully curating an opponent who's too rusty to be dangerous. For McGregor, it's just a paycheck. His whiskey empire's cooled off, his trash talk's gone stale. What else does he have? For Jake though, this is another stepping stone in his never-ending pursuit of validation. He doesn't want to prove he's a great fighter, he just wants to be seen as one. And unfortunately, in today's world, that might be enough. 5.
Conor McGregor just tweeted at me because of this interview.
He has to get active again. You know, who knows when that's going to happen.
These are his tweets, and here's my response. Conor. You're more active on Twitter than you are in the octagon. Stop taking Trenbolone and start taking fights. You're more actively cheating on your wife than you are in the octagon. Your priorities are mixed up. Put down the bottle and get back to fighting. You haven't won a fight in 5 fucking years, and the last time you did was against Cowboy Cerrone, who hasn't won a fight against anyone since fighting you. I'm a nobody, you say in this tweet. Well, yeah, you're right. I'm just a fucking kid from Ohio. I really am a nobody, but this is where you fought your 6th fight. There's literally 2 people in the crowd. And this is where I'm gonna be fighting my 6th fight. Madison Square Garden, the mecca of boxing. August 6th. I know you'll be watching.
Jake Paul has built an entire career out of turning controversy into cash. The bigger the name, the louder the noise, and Jake plays that game better than most. But let's not kid ourselves. This isn't about advancing his boxing career. It never has been. Jake Paul's version of boxing is built on smoke and mirrors, duck real contenders, dance around aging legends, and sell the illusion of greatness. And who better to add to that illusion than Conor McGregor, once the untouchable king of the UFC, now teetering on the edge of irrelevance. This is the same McGregor who used to terrify opponents with his fists and charm millions with his swagger. Now, he's more likely to be seen pushing whiskey or firing off cringe-worthy tweets than stepping into a meaningful fight. His last significant moment in the octagon was a gruesome late break against Dustin Poirier in 2021. A loss so brutal, not even his legendary trash talk could spin it into something respectable. Since then, Conor's been on a streak of, well, inactivity.
Look, Conor is not what he once was. And so even beating him, it still looks good on somebody's resume.
Fast forward to now, and McGregor's so-called comeback isn't happening in the UFC. It's happening through exhibition matches. Translation: low risk, high payday spectacles that do more to pad his wallet than his legacy. He's playing dodgeball with his career, avoiding real opponents while clinging to what's left of his mystique. Enter Jake Paul, the YouTuber turned boxer whose entire strategy is calling out names big enough to trend, but beatable enough to survive. And somehow, in this bizarre reality, Jake manages to make McGregor look classy by comparison. Jake, ever the clout chaser, publicly challenged Conor to a fight, and what did he get in return? Radio silence. Not a tweet, not a story, not even a meme. It's almost like Conor knows how ridiculous this would be. Or maybe he's too busy filming another whiskey ad. If McGregor accepts, it's a double-edged sword. Sure, the payday would be massive, but a loss to Jake Paul. That could be the final nail in the coffin for what remains of his fighting legacy. On the other hand, rejecting the fight means walking away from one of the few remaining opportunities to stay relevant in a sport that's already moved on without him. Either way, the Notorious One has become more known for courtroom drama and reality shows than his once feared left hook.
Conor McGregor calls out Jake Paul for the next boxing fight. Here it is.
Make a new name for yourself. Look at what has happened to Michael Perry. You know, one of our big stars here, the King of Violence. He titles himself, and you know he's had such a rise in the sport. Now he's up against you know, a little dweeb of a thing in a fight this weekend that we're all rooting for.